What's up? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Ah, well, my name is Sherrod. I'm currently living in Los Angeles, California, and this is the You Are Live podcast. You are live, your number one radio source for live rhythm and news, classics and current events, music and information, jams and thoughts, which sometimes require a little participation and improvisation during our live jam sessions broadcasted from right here at the station. I'm your master of ceremonies, Sherrod, and you can follow me on not all social networks, but follow me at Sherardinc, Sherardinc, on Instagram mainly. And you can follow the UR Live podcast. The letter U, the letter R, the word live, the word podcast. Okay? It's 2024 and I'm giving this a shot right here to just go live on YouTube. Um, to God the glory, I'm able to just go live. There's a lot of requirements and things that you have to do to be able to go live, but because I started this channel so long ago, actually in college, and it's really just sort of been there for me to upload my portfolio work as it's created, which has been spread out time wise, I'm getting used to this because, like, this is different. I see the green light right there, so that's where I should be looking. But I see, of course, myself and I want to look down. And so I'm working on it. This is my first one. When I say that, happy 2024, I want to actually just truly connect with y'all. And without all the bells and whistles that you see on probably every other post um, on my channel. On my channel, you'll see, if you scroll to the beginning, my college journey. And I was like, am I going to leave that stuff up? But for right now, I'm going to leave it because that is why I'm able to just go live right now in 2024 and not just have a couple of, subscribers. Like, I have what I need to do to go live, and that's what I want to be able to do. Um, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of life that's happened. I'm grateful for this channel. I've posted, like I said, college stuff, and then I've posted my documentary work. I've posted my band work. All of that is a story. All of that is my journey. But what I love most about it is all of my passion projects. And passion projects, I mean life fulfillment projects, have been dropped on this channel. And like the dates in between show you the journey and the life in between. Wow. There's a documentary that I produced early in my journey, actually before I graduated college, and it was called Quicksand: The Pursuit of Stardom. At that time, I was a campus king, and that was something I applied for. I wanted, I brought it on myself. It came with a lot of learning lessons. It came with, you know, it came, it served its purpose. But I had already, between that and every winter break, every summer break, every spring break, every opportunity I got, I tried to make my way to New York and get my way into the door with modeling. So by the time I made that documentary, I had already had experiences with the journey of trying to get into the door. And at that time, the struggle of trying to balance getting a college degree and getting into modeling. And also like hosting and broadcasting and You know, it was my dream to host 106 in Park, which I auditioned for actually. And I did pretty good considering. When I say considering, I mean no connections, no, you know, connections, which is the main thing. Quicksand. In it, I followed aspiring entertainers on their day to day life, on what it looked like from the audition process, the rejection, you know. And then I also got an opportunity to interview Megan Good, who shared advice and her experiences at the time. God bless you, Megan. Thank you for blessing that project, especially at that time. Um, and you've been a blessing. When it came time to run or to audition for 106 in Park, I just remember, you remember me, you reposted my stuff, my audition, and, that was enough. I was grateful. Um, Fast forward to 2024, we have, and I mean 2024, like, for example, Megan is in headlines alongside Jonathan Majors for what's going on with him. But I only bring it up because industry art, industry art. Um, she said a lot in that interview. And also in the documentary was Monique from an interview that I actually did at the Oscars, where she actually said Kwashe, who plays Mongo, um, it impacted her, and they had to do a group hug on set because she said though they were acting, she still had to throw that baby. And I want to fast forward from Monique's interview and comment and that documentary I did in 2010 to fast forward to where we are today, 2024, where Monique has also said a whole lot about industry. But Monique has also, I listened to it just yesterday, was reaffirming, confirming, and supporting Taraji, who recently started speaking out, Taraji P. Henson, on industry. We're going to dive a little deeper, but for right now, we're just going to say industry. There's a lot going on in industry. And for me to have chosen a documentary called Quicksand, The Pursuit of Stardom, that early in my journey, around 21, 22, and to have had my own personal journey and to be here right now in Los Angeles and talking to you, all I could say is wow. All I could say is life. And if that was 2010 and we're in 2024 now, then that was 14 years ago. I really want to count. I know I just did math in my head, but 2020, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So it's been 14 years since 2010, but that's the year I graduated. But I mean, I had graduated already, so I had already been working on that to even graduate. I had to get a grade. So the 4 years prior to that, then we could start talking 18 years, which feels more what it is because college, 4 years. So 2006, yeah, I would say my first New York trip was between 2006 or 2007 for like photo shoots and stuff. And off break, I just remember resistance, rejection in this game and this pressure and this thing that I couldn't ascertain or put my finger onto. But at the end of the day, as a black man, as a black male model, or at that time aspiring model, out the gate, my out the gate, something that you were going to deal with is getting your portfolio started. And I'm trying to think of like just more of a button word before we dive too deep. I would say portfolio development, photographer, the game. The very first thing that a photographer wants from a new and aspiring model is nudes and underwear and provocative uh, images, work, and that's just what it is. Um, and you immediately start playing the integrity game, the value game, the what will you do to get to where you want to get game, all the games, casting couch. You just faced with that, and you go step by step in the process until you learn, until you grow, and until you connect with people who actually give you either real advice, or you learn for yourself and you act accordingly, or you're raised, already, and you take it or leave it, and you have a foundation, whether it's spiritual foundation, just solid grown ass man teaching foundation at home, uh, all of that. I dealt with all of that and trying to preserve, an image for yourself and balancing everything. I remember that started immediately. And I was always sort of grateful to tap in and tap back out, sort of like the Matrix in Inception. I would be up on breaks. And at the same time, I felt like my progress was stunted in the industry, which is fine because I was going back to school and not able to commit full time to it. Um, that was my inspiration for even starting the project. It was like, here I am, I'm about to graduate. It's 20 at around 20. I don't know, between 20 and 22. I don't remember. And I was like, I'm a little exhausted already, but I'm gonna keep going. Um, when I graduated, I went straight to LA and I stayed for a year and I did great things with hosting, red carpets, celebrity interviews, and continuing that vision that I had for myself as a host and personality. Um, I stayed for a year, felt out LA, and said, got you. I see. I felt a vibe and I was just like, I got you. It was a lot of free work. It was a lot of get your foot in the door work, portfolio development. But what that did for back home was create an aura of success. And also, you think you Hollywood, friends and family. But what no one knew is money. Like, I'm just a hard worker, out hustling, but I wasn't rich and defined success. I was hitting the pavement and said that, what, when I come back, this whole applying for jobs thing, I'm gonna have to come back with a hustle because damn, I just spent a year just trying to find like some consistent work and I haven't been able to find it, just at that time. And so I actually said, that when I come back to LA, I'm gonna be a barber. I went through tough times finding a black barber and barbershop in 2010. At that time, and this is before Lyft and Uber era, and this is also before all the apps, the Booksies and Style Seats and stuff that we have now. And this was also before just this whole as it is now, this social media, which at that time it was social media. Now this is e-commerce media. This is business. Online is business. Every bit of it is business. And I was just like, I'm gonna come back as a barber. And so when I went back to East Coast, I went to New York first and I stayed there for like 4 years. And then I went to DC home for 4 years. And while in DC, I went to barber school and then I started working in barber shops. Then I opened up my own practice and theme and concept in my living room while teaching. There's a whole story to it, but teacher during the day and hair evenings and weekends. And I was really in a season and doing some great things. There's a lot to say in that regard, but in some of those videos, definitely one, the Howard Theater one. If you look in my video archives or just videos, the one at the Howard Theater, I should have told the story about my teaching journey. If I didn't, then I'll post it, in the future. But at that time, I was at war with the DC public school system and fighting for my job. There's also a documentary, Hypothetically Hope, addressing the lack of black male educators. It's 10 minutes. It's on this page as well. It's there. I posted it. It won the Made in New York Film Festival in 2014. There's a lot to say there, but I'll just say I already said it and it's posted. I moved back to LA after I was just like, it's my 30th birthday. I've given my youth to plan B, but it was never plan B because plan A was always to come back to LA. And I knew that I just needed to hustle and grow and learn and develop so that when I got back to LA, I could be ready for what I remembered, plus whatever LA had become. And it became a lot of things. But it also did have Uber and Lyft. It did have like, like come on, like by 2018, just technology had evolved. What I want to do in this moment is actually, one moment, please. Will it work? I have a lot going on. But this moment that I'm sharing with you is special for a lot of reasons. Because at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, purpose, fulfillment, life. Purpose, fulfillment, life. mind, body, spirit, soul. There's a lot there that I would like to say and will. Let me see. Maybe if I turn my chair, y'all been getting a profile. This is cool. This is 2024. I did start with it last year in 2023, but I'm more with it now. This is a fitness calorie tracker watch. We'll talk about that soon. I say that because I want to go live more regularly. The idea and dream has always been to wake up and to be a radio host and doing it. And I've put it on the back burner. I put it on the back burner because, it had to be done a certain way and all polished. I started with the red carpet concept and, I've become just who I am, the human being, the man, the black man, living this life and still pursuing my dreams. But hosting and radio is so pure that I, wanted or needed this clear space to do it. And honestly, a clear space is not promised all the time or ever. And so much time has gone by that, it didn't have to be perfect. I did put out, what I didn't necessarily think was perfect, and it got the views that it got. It's on this channel. But with that, it always came back down to money. And can I afford to do this? And the way I was doing it, especially with the live music, it became a bill. Studio time, musicians. And my dream was really to be a part of a collective that didn't cost, and we create and we build. But a solo journey is what it's been, and that's fine. And when I say solo, even if you see me around people, like these people had to be booked, and that booking cost. I also went through stages of like, wow, when I am social, I'm paying people, but the absence of friendship started to impact me. If you want to talk about the day in the life of, an entertainer, this is what it looks like. Constantly checking your phone, constantly submitting, constantly. Almost sort of surrendering to this. Well, it depends. If you have an agent doing that for you, then you have an agent doing that for you, and you can go and focus and do whatever you're going to do, whether it's be at the gym and be ready for when you are booked, or you could be, that's my preference. You don't get that opportunity all the time. As an independent free agent myself, where you're the talent submitting for yourself, I have learned the business side of things. I've had to grow there. Wow. Hustles. I have several side hustles. I have several passions and passion projects and like hobbies. You could call me a hobbyist. There are things that I have kept pure, that money and business, I felt contaminated and complicated. And then in 2024, those things I would love to monetize because they are my passions. And those are the things that I would work and do around the clock and lose sleep for. There's a lot that I want to say. There's a lot going on. I've been going for 24 minutes. Maybe if I do a focused 30 minutes, I know I could really go for like an hour. There are several YouTube channels, content creators that I have watched over the years. And I think the most impactful part of that is some of them I started watching while I was in DC. And that would be up to the, between 2014 and 2018. And to watch their pages grow. And these are people who just started something and they kept it going and were consistent and it built and it grew. And I have done a lot of stop and go and, trying to just, get life together, work. And here we are now where people are paying for subscriptions for content as long as you have a following. Seeing that entrepreneurial opportunity to connect directly with your audience and to say, hey, I don't need Hollywood. I don't need your permission to be. I don't need your permission to live. I don't need your permission to speak. I don't need your permission to have a soul, use my soul, or for my soul to be free, for my voice to be free, for me to, just be able to have a job and get in the door, to live a life and to just pay bills. All the resistance on matters from things like race, gender, all the protected classes, protected. There's so many stories I have to tell y'all. So many life experiences that, will translate into art in some form. But I wanted to recommit today, the 16th of January, 2024. And I've already been committed just for the long haul, but I want to see even short-term results right now. And it's starting with this, just going live, not having to worry about editing, not having to worry about none of that right now. Just going with it. Boom, bam, done. So when I started fidgeting over here, I wanted to connect my other like IG lives and stuff, because I could be going live on both Instagram, YouTube, and then my other Instagram page as well. So that's charging. But that's cool. Next time we can do all of that at the same time, because my followers are there on Instagram. Right now, oh, that's cool. It looks like at one point during this live, one whole person was tuning in live with me. And then, of course, when I post it, anybody will be able to go and get caught up. I'm not sure. 28 minutes. Actually, I have about 1 minute to tap out and sign out. Am I going to honor my word and cut it off at 30? Man, can't give it to y'all all at one time. What I will say is follow me. You are live, Underground Remix Live, your number one radio source for live rhythm and news, classics and current events, music and information, jams and thoughts which sometimes require a little participation and improvisation during our live jam sessions broadcasted from right here at the station. There's a lot to be said there because we are in the lab. The lab. My next video will be, stay tuned, subscribe, Sherardinc on Instagram, follow You Are Live Podcast on Instagram, the letter U, the letter R, the word live podcast. And for Instagram, The current page has an underscore after podcast because the first one got hacked. So if you follow just You Are Live podcast on Instagram, it has an underscore at the end. Twitter is just regular You Are Live podcast, and the goal is just to be You Are Live podcast. But again, I had to add that underscore there when creating a new page. That's 30 minutes and 18 seconds. I went over. I gotta go. Till next time. Thank you.